Hi. Couple times this week, I had one agent ask me, how do you determine the value of land? And way you do that is look up its zoning and what can you do with the land, right? So can you put a high rise on it or can you make it a parking lot, whatever. So things like that. So and then there was another post on Facebook that talked about asking about a question about density of an accessory apartment. So I figured what I'm going to do is show you, what if a buyer came to you, something a little more common, and say, what if a buyer came to you and said, can I rent out the basement as a separate apartment in my home if I bought this particular home? And what I'm going to do is show you, with Salt Lake City zoning, they have very good websites. So, but the cities, they all have their own version of it, but Salt Lake City just seems to have a good one. So, and this would work whether you're evaluating on land because you're looking up the usage and things like that. So anyway, we'll just get started. So the first thing, Google Salt Lake City zoning map. There's the page. We'll just kind of click over to that. I have the pages all pulled up. So, and this one, I apologize, should have been already open there. So, and when it pulls up, it's right here. It's a little map. There's a button here. It says open map and larger view. If and I already have it open in a larger view. There's another link at the bottom of this, and don't worry, I'm going to have all these links at the bottom of this video. So here's another one that says the Salt Lake City code. So let's go back up. So you click on view and larger map. Then we go over here. Here's what the larger map would look like. So then there's a place address. So we go in the MLS. Let's say there's a particular property. We say, okay, we want this property right here, 1014 East Hollywood Avenue. So we go over here. We paste in the address, hit enter, takes you to the property, shows you the property on the zoning map. There's the property, Hollywood Avenue, 1014. And see right here, this is the key right here, R1 5000. So what this means is residential, 1 unit per 5,000 square feet of land. So the question was, can you rent out the basement? And we'll go further because based on that, it says no, it's zoned for one single family residence. Okay, for every 5,000 square feet. So if you have a 10,000 square foot lot, you could potentially divide it into two, or you could divide it into two. So potentially, there's more rules, setbacks, and such, and we'll go through that a little bit. So once you know what the zoning is, then you have to go to look at the code, right? So here's what the code page looks like. And then when you land here, you got residential districts. Then you got R1 5000 right here. So here's the link to the R1 5000, which I already have it open. We'll go there. So then when you land on the R1 5000, it's going to give you the purpose of this zone is to provide conventional single-family residential neighborhoods, not less than 5,000 square feet in lot. The district is blah, 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 right? Kind of goes through a little bit of concept, but then it gives you a table of what are the usages, places of worship, less than 4 acres, you'd have to have 12,000 square feet lot area. So in other words, if you had a 12,000 square foot lot in an R1 5000 zone with an 80-foot width, you could put in a church. So even though the lot requires 12,000 square feet, it's still an R1 5000. So then you see down here, single family detached, 5,000 square foot, you have to have a minimum of a 50-foot width, right? So that's what that table is showing you. Then you scroll down, maximum height. You can only have a pitch roof can give you 28, you can go 28 feet. Flat roof building, only 20 feet. Things like that, and there's exceptions. You got gables, and then building height, wall height, dormers, total combined of dormers. It gives you rules and things like that, minimum yard requirements. So this is as you walk through the code. So the zone tells you what the zone is, the zoning map. Then you go to the code, it tells you what you can do inside that zone. And then there's more to it than that. But as you scroll back up, there's a link here that it talked about right here. As specified in the section 21A, table of permitted and conditional use residential districts. So let's go over to the permitted and conditional uses, right? So here's the table of permitted and conditional uses. Okay, so this is the list of uses, and it'll tell you whether it's permitted in which particular zone, and our zone that we're focused on is this column right here, right? So we'll scroll down, and what's this one? A community garden. Community garden is a conditional use, meaning with that zone, you could, if you had a vacant lot, you could potentially do a community garden. Now, with conditions, you have to follow the conditions. Conditions will give you a set of rules based on this, that, and this, and that. So let's scroll down further. You got dwelling, accessory unit, right? So you got, and this is servants' quarters, different than accessory unit. So this says a dwelling accessory unit, an ADU or AUD, whatever you want to call it. So you scroll over, it's a permitted use, right? So meaning a house inside the zone of Salt Lake City of R1 5000, it is permitted to have an accessory dwelling. And then you scroll down to, assisted living facility is conditional use. Some other permitted uses. Dwelling group home, small, is permitted, right? So, like if you, I guess so, like a drug halfway house is permitted, right? Dwelling manufactured home, permitted, right? I know you get resistance with those. Dwelling single family detached, permitted. Not even sure what that word is. So, government facility, conditional use. Municipal service, conditional use. Open space of lots less than 4 acres, permitted. Park is permitted, right? So these are all permitted and conditional uses. So based on this, the answer is yes. R1 5000, a house, accessory dwelling, the answer is yes, it is a permitted use in an R1 5000 zone. So I hope that helps you out. Each city has their own zoning map, but they pretty much kind of follow some of these same rules. But any questions, feel free to reach out to me.